and thank you, every single one of you, for being here today. We've got a good problem. There's so many people that we've had to have two stages, one in Parliament Square and one here on the street just alongside Trafalgar Square. That's the kind of problem that we want caused all over the world, where so many hundreds of thousands go out on the streets, go out and demonstrate their support for the people of Palestine. I've got a message I want to give you that's just been sent to me by a very dear friend of ours, all of us, Dr. Mustafa Barghouti, who is in Palestine at the moment. Mustafa has been many, many times at rallies in London and all around the world. He sent a message and I'll paraphrase it. Dear friends and comrades, we thank you for your solidarity and for supporting the truth and justice. We need you to stand up to your government and the USA government and tell them enough is enough. How many more thousands of Palestinian children should die before you support an immediate ceasefire? Every minute that passes without a ceasefire means the death of a child or a woman or a man, destruction of a house, and the life of a Palestinian child dying in an incubator in an hospital. We will not give up on our struggle for freedom and for a free Palestine, and we will overcome. And you will be able to tell your children and your grandchildren that in the noble struggle for a free Palestine, you took part in that struggle. And that's from Dr. Barghouti, a wonderful man who's done so much over so many years to speak up in such an articulate way on the world's media in support of the Palestinian people. Last night, Gaza was plunged once again into darkness. Once again, no electricity. Another day with no water. Another day with no medicines. Another day with no food. Another day with people being treated in hospital without anaesthetic and all the other horrible things that are happening in Palestine at the present time. The border closed at Rafah, and in a week only, I think, 30 trucks have got through. More trucks than that go down the Holloway Road every day. More trucks than that deliver on every high street in this country every day. And those trucks that entered into Gaza are to try and support the livelihood and the needs of 2 million people. A community being starved to death. A community under siege. And on top of the thousands who have already died, half of whom are children, half of all those that have died are children. Just take that in for a second. Their last moments of life would be scared, frightened, in a part demolished or wholly demolished building, trying to find a little bit of shelter in the darkness. And their last moment of life would be a bomb landing on top of them and killing them. And that is happening in real time on televisions all over the world. We're watching it happen like a horror movie. So I asked myself, what does it take? What really does it take for the governments of the USA, of Britain, and a number of other countries to actually utter the words, stop, ceasefire now, to save life before more is destroyed? What is the matter with these people that they can't bring themselves to realise, yes, the killing in the Negev was appalling and wrong, and my heart goes out to anyone that's lost a brother, a sister, a daughter, a mum, a dad, a son, whatever. My heart goes out to them. We're not going to make it right by killing 8,000 Palestinians and continuing to kill more and more and more as this bombing goes on. And we're not just killing people, We're killing a society. We're killing that sense of hope. I've been in Gaza many times. I've met many wonderful people there. I've met great guys and women driving taxis. I've met people working in bakeries. I've met people who are teachers. I've met people who are poets, people who are artists, people who are musicians, people who want to build their society and their community, mental health workers, helping people through the stress and strain. And all that is being destroyed. They will never drive again, they will never paint again, they will never play music again, they will never write poetry again. Their lives are gone. Gone! Because of the bombardment by Israeli jets, helpfully supplied by the United States. Stop the bombing now, demand a ceasefire now, and say to that person down there in Downing Street temporarily, Rishi Sunak, shame! What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you when you claim this is legitimate self-defense? Where is the self-defense? On the army saying to the staff in a hospital, get out of it because we're about to bomb it. The doctors quite rightly and bravely said, we are not leaving our patients, we are not leaving our posts, we are medics. We took the Hippocratic Oath to care for life and try to sustain it, and all they know is the destruction of it. And at the UN, the US voted against, Britain voted against, but to their credit, the majority of the world's nations voted to call for an end to the bombing, a ceasefire. Yet it was vetoed by the United States, and Britain abstained to its eternal disgrace. In reality, an abstention is voting against on this occasion, and everybody knows that. Britain didn't do that. And so, I just ask you all, what do you think about this powerlessness that we feel? I feel it, you feel it. I turn on the television every morning with a sense of dread. I switch on my phone with a sense of dread. How many more have died? How many more calls do we have to make to try and console a grieving father, a grieving mother, or somebody else in a family that's lost everybody, all in this dreadful conflict? And then you look at their history. Look at the history of the Palestinian people. All those in Gaza are either directly themselves part of the Nakba or descendants of it. They came to Gaza when Israel was set up in 1948. And they are now in danger of being driven out of Gaza into a new Gaza Strip in the Sinai Desert. That is what is happening before our very eyes. The world's armed industry has armed Israel. The world's arms industry is trying out its weapons, as they are in many other conflicts around the world. Yet all we have, and that's all we've got, is our presence, our voice, and our determination to hear the cry from the Palestinian trade unions, to hear the cry from the Palestinian people, to hear the cry from the Palestinian children and young people, to make sure this is not done in your name, to force your governments to do all they can to stop the carnage and stop the killing. But ultimately, it means justice for the Palestinian people, an end to the occupation, an end to the settlements, and they're often forgotten in this, recognition and rights of the hundreds of thousands of Palestinians living as they have for 70 years in refugee camps, in Lebanon, in Syria, in Jordan. They deserve their life as well. And so I simply say this to our government: whatever abuse you throw at us, whatever nonsense you talk, we are people here who are humanists, we're people here who are humanitarian, we're people here who will have no truck with any form of racism whatsoever in our society, because we know racism divides. A determination for justice unites people. That's why we're here. And I say to this government, and to the French government, and to the American government, and all the others, whatever you say, we'll be here, day in, day out, week in, week out, all over the world. The voice of people calling for peace, calling for justice for the Palestinian people will prevail. And when the Palestinian people gain their peace, gain their recognition, and gain their justice, you will have all played a small part in that. That's all we can do, each of us play small parts to bring about the great result that we are utterly determined to achieve. Justice for Palestine, justice for the Palestinian people. Thank you very much.